A lot of people want the Insane Community series back. Is this a good compromise?
Electric Hedgehog power! Pew!
Sonic the Hedgehog was Sega's mascot intended to compete with Mario. He was fast, blue, and had a counterculture attitude reminiscent of the era. Sonic has been pumping out games, movies, cartoons, merch, and so much more for nearly 35 years. And it feels like nobody in the fandom can agree over which is good and which is bad. The franchise has had many iterations over the past few decades, with different tones, art styles, gameplay, you name it. This has caused people to grow attached to whichever one they grew up on.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4! Ugh! I'm so infuriated right now. This is a complete turnoff. It's incredibly misleading.
I'm not kidding. People crash out over the most minuscule shit being changed, such as his voice actor, arm color, even his eye color.
Or just have it fucking classic, because it'll make the game a 10 out of 10. Right now, the game is on an okay scale for me. Yes, I'm giving a fucking modern fucking Sonic fucking game an okay for its gameplay, not the fucking character design, which is the most important part of the game.
There's a lot of division in this community, to say the least. Though on some occasions, the franchise will miss the mark so badly that everyone unites against it. A key example being when the trailer for the first movie dropped, and Sonic looked horrendous. Paramount got so much backlash that they delayed the movie to fix the design, which ended up being the right call. But even if the brand is far from consistent, that hasn't stopped people from showing their admiration in all kinds of ways, ranging from well-made, to crude yet charming, to downright illegal. You could search Your Name the Hedgehog on Google, and you'll see plenty of attempts at creating OCs. But for some people, that's not good enough. They want to pursue relationships with the cast.
There's such a mess of very beautiful and tough women that it'll make you love the franchise even more.
A whole ass forum was created for people to date the blue hedgehog in ways that I cannot put into words. You've got top 10 lists of the hottest characters. There's J Sonic 1977, who made love to his doll so much that it became a moldy husk. Or there's the life-size Sally Acorn doll that uses a scarily realistic wooden skeleton. Hopefully these people come across the treasure trove of Christian Sonic fan art and find God. I mean, seriously? Dating fictional characters? That's pathetic. I only love them as friends. Oh, and don't even get me started on The Loud House is a cartoon about a boy with 10 sisters, all having unique personalities. Their parents breed like rabbits, it seems. It's become Nickelodeon's most successful show since SpongeBob, running for 10 years and counting.
Nope.
While spawning tons of spin-offs and movies. It's a fun, wholesome show for kids, so what could go wrong? Well, first off, the creator got booted from the show after allegations of misconduct surfaced. And second off, this show's fanfiction and fan art are very unhinged. Someone wrote a 346,000 word story about Lincoln, the protagonist, getting diagnosed with a deadly brain tumor. They really enjoy depicting the characters in pain. Very realistic pain, mind you. Whether it be them getting into accidents, dealing with addictions, or grieving over loved ones. I've never seen anyone show this much hate towards characters from a show they claim to love. From what I can gather, this stems from a few episodes that show the Loud family being too mean-spirited. So instead of the much more healthy coping mechanism of becoming an angry cartoon reviewer, they vent their frustrations by drawing torture art. The longest work of fiction ever written is a Loud House fanfic. The Loud House Revamped was created by James Dean 1987, and features crossovers with all sorts of franchises. At some point, Joseph Stalin and George Bush even show up. It clocked in at over 30 million words, and up updated near daily for 8 whole years, until it was deleted for unknown reasons. Some parts weren't archived by the looks of things, and are presumed to be lost forever. Alas, we'll never know the complete story behind the 30-plus-year-old author joining the Loud family as a character half his age. And of course, since this kids show has a lot of kids in its cast, you can expect that thing I made like 4 videos on, even though YouTube doesn't want me to make them because it targets their friends. And most of it is within the family, so that's opening up another can of worms. The YouTuber Jax made a pretty good video on this fandom, but for some reason he decided to go unbelievably hard on the opening animation. Like, this is damn near Pixar quality. Whatever gets the word out, I suppose.
What happened, Steven?
Steven Universe was a Cartoon Network show created by Rebecca Sugar. It ran from 2013 all the way until 2019, and was pretty revolutionary for its representation. And while it no doubt amassed a huge fan base, some took it a little too far. There were plenty of controversies, such as the Keystone Motel incident. In one episode, the group stays in a motel named the Keystone Motel. Some fans found out that this place actually exists in Florida, and subsequently review bombed it with references to the episode, such as the pizza being square or the pool evaporating. This led to people who worked on the show calling fans out for hurting the motel's reputation. Another incident was when fans started harassing writer Jesse Zook, who worked on episodes that failed to deliver on a few romantic plots. It got so bad that they ended up deleting their Twitter account and had to leave the series altogether. Arguably the most infamous incident within the Steven Universe fandom has to be the case of Zammy070. She was a fan artist who is active on Tumblr. That name will send shivers down anyone's spine. Zammy070 drew a picture of Steven, Greg, and Rose hugging each other. Wholesome stuff, right? Well, the fandom didn't exactly see it that way. They were furious that Rose was drawn too skinny, even though the piece was made before her full body had even appeared on the show, and all the comments were after. Zammy had no way of knowing what she would look like. They went through her entire post history to compile every little mistake she made and accused her of every bad thing in the book. The harassment and bullying got so bad that Zammy reportedly tried to end her life. Thankfully, she ended up recovering and is still making fan art to this day, but man was this abhorrent. Abhorrent enough to get the police involved. Not only was the fandom's reputation irreparably damaged, but it affected people's perception of the show itself. And there's another incident that gives this one a run for its money. One young fan of the show was terminally ill, and his last wish was to see a few upcoming episodes early. He got the opportunity and shared it on social media, but ended up leaking a few details in the process. Awestruck Vox, a contributor for the Roundtable, attacked this dying kid for spoiling the show. No, he didn't even spoil the show. The crew gave him permission to share these details. Good lord. It's ironic considering the show is built around positivity and acceptance, and it's not the only community to face this dilemma.
The horse is here.
My Little Pony started as a toy line by Hasbro in the 80s, originally meant for a young female demographic. The series continued to get revamped until landing in 2010 with Friendship is Magic, the brand's 4th generation. Crazy how Pokemon is younger than MLP yet is several generations ahead. Just like before, younger girls were the target demographic, but whereas the previous cartoons were low-effort cash grabs, this one actually tried to go beyond the Call of Duty. By having an actual story and subtle pop culture references, the show gained a massive following of adult men. This fandom started on 4chan, wherein they dubbed themselves Bronies, a combination of bro and pony. It quickly spread to every corner of the internet and later, real life. There were conventions and even charity events dedicated to My Little Pony. The property was for everyone now, regardless of gender or age. If only we could say this ended here. But of course, there were controversies. There was quite a lot of gatekeeping from adult men who genuinely couldn't fathom that little girls liked the show for little girls.
Started looking at the things, I was offended.
Not by the childish activities and such they had in here, but honestly because of just Hasbro's inability to actually market to its true, demographic. Anyway.
A couple of scammers also got in on the hype. For one, there was Las Pegasus Unicon, a disastrous convention whose organizers ran off with the money. Then somebody decided to sell a plushie of one of the characters with a hole in it. Like, sew that shit up, nobody wants a torn plushie. Given that the fandom had its roots on 4chan, it was only a matter of time before the Chudge got a hold of it. A shocking amount of bronies are white supremacists, and on at least one occasion, it unfortunately led to people losing their lives. On April Fool's Day of 2017, the site merged several of its boards together, and the MLP board was fused with the brainchild of Nissan Leaf himself, Pole. If you're new here, Nissan Leaf is the name I give to this guy. Members of both communities bonded with each other, creating OCs themed around a certain World War II party, and art of that party's leader befriending the ponies. Not everyone on 4chan is in favor of My Little Pony though. A guy named Lee Goldson has been spamming MLP threads with death threats for over a decade. He hates the show with a burning passion, solely because it aired next to Barney and Friends. One time he got so angry that he shared feet art of Tracer from Overwatch to get the thread taken down. Don't go thinking the bronies don't have weird proclivities though, cause they absolutely do. A gargantuan amount of people find these horses attractive. Oh, so that's what the hole was for, okay. It wasn't a scam, my bad. There's even a term for enjoying these art pieces. Clopping. This poor sap decided to educate his dad on it.
What pedophile?
Am I gonna have to keep you away from the local petting zoo to keep you from fucking the little horses?
What?
Just don't draw any of Twilight Sparkle though, because Jin1515 is married to her. He'll write you an entire angry college thesis if you depict her in unsportsmanlike scenarios. There's a pinch of Loud House here too, since some incredibly popular animations show the characters dying in gruesome ways. And last but not least, I cannot elaborate further. If you know, you know. As popular as this generation of My Little Pony was, it wasn't going to last forever. The brony community saw a bit of a decline in the late 2010s, and by the end of the decade, the series concluded. The following generation saw nowhere near the same amount of success, and honestly, I don't see them ever reaching those heights again. Fans of the G4 era do still exist though, and they aren't going away anytime soon. Don't tell the boys I watched my sister's G3 VHS tapes as a kid.
I fucking love science.
Rick and Morty premiered on Adult Swim in 2013 and is still going on to this day. The show follows the titular Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith, who are basically a parody of Doc and Marty, going on adventures through different dimensions. When the first 2 seasons aired, it was all fine and dandy. Season 3, however, was when things within the fandom took a turn for the worst. Despite the show being more popular than ever, the episodes of Season 3 weren't as universally praised. A small few in the community blamed it on the show hiring female writers, and said writers were doxed in an attempt to force them out of the show. Despite this vocal minority, the season won an Emmy for the episode Pickle Rick.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal, I'm a pickle. What do you think about that?
Funniest shit I've ever seen. Beyond that, some fans of the show started to get a bit too absorbed into Rick, who's supposed to be a pseudo-intellectual jackass. This copy pasta flexing that the show required a very high IQ was mocked all across the internet. But easily the most well-known incident involving the fandom is the Szechuan sauce incident.
I want Szechuan sauce! Where's my Szechuan sauce? Rick! I'm Pickle Rick!
In the Season 3 premiere episode, The Rickshank Redemption, can I just say I fucking hate the way the show titles its episodes? They always come off so desperate trying to force a pun on a movie title. Anyway, Rick time travels back to the 90s to order Szechuan sauce, a limited time McNugget dip made to promote Mulan. Overnight, this long forgotten item became a holy grail. Fans demanded McDonald's bring it back, and they responded with Rick and Morty quotes, showing that they at least considered it. One guy found an original packet while cleaning an old car, and proceeded to sell it on eBay for thousands. McDonald's knew they couldn't let this opportunity slide, so they officially announced that Szechuan sauce would be back on the menu in October of that year, but only for a single day, in select locations, with very limited quantity. They vastly underestimated how popular the show was. Hundreds of fans drove to participating locations, even ones who lived hours away. They set up tents the night before to camp, and put on Rick and Morty episodes through a projector. McDonald's had no chance of satisfying everyone's demands. When the day came and the restaurants inevitably ran out, the fans did not take it well. Fights broke out, the police got called, the head chef of McDonald's received death threats. The lucky few who managed to obtain a packet did all kinds of things with it. One shared it with others, one destroyed it, one dipped nuggets and sold them $10 a piece. Many went back home and put it up on eBay for hundreds. But you could capitalize even without the complete packet. People were willing to buy empty ones that just had the label, the box for the chicken tenders, pictures of it, regular packets with scribbles on it. One guy even decided to trade his car for it. McDonald's issued an apology for how the rollout was handled, and a couple months later released it as a normal product, completely free of the Rick and Morty branding. Taste-wise, the sauce was really nothing to write home about. The hype was purely astroturfed by the show picking a discontinued product at random. Could have just as easily been the Fish McBites. It quietly disappeared from the menu, and now only makes very brief appearances in very specific regions. Nobody wanted to call themselves a Rick and Morty fan after this debacle. They became the butt of so many jokes online. In the years following, the show declined in quality, all while losing viewership to other adult cartoons. Whether or not these incidents made people biased is anyone's guess. Also, I guess one of the co-creators is a Diddy Blood. I gotta cover cartoon degenerates at some point.
The Golden Grin Casino has more to offer than just craps and cards.
Genshin Impact is a free-to-play action RPG developed by Hoyoverse. The game runs on a gacha business model, wherein you pay money to get random characters or weapons. No matter which way you look at it, it's a slot machine. Sorry furries, you missed out. Maybe another day. And Hoyoverse has gotten in trouble with the FTC for encouraging underage gambling. Speaking of, this very simple RNG mechanic has ruined lives, with people spending all of their savings just to get their favorite character. On at least one confirmed occasion, someone's reckless spending cost them a marriage. Genshin Impact players are also very picky with the content they get. If a character drops and they don't like it, you can bet that the voice actor is gonna get doxxed. Never mind the fact that they had zero involvement with the design or writing. Hoyoverse is a Chinese company, meaning they have to comply with the government's regulations. This included removing a music video that was for a different game they made, but when else am I gonna talk about this? It showed the characters of Honkai Impact 3rd dancing in suggestive bunny costumes. One player, upon seeing his goon material get deleted, got so angry that he tried to kill the CEO! He traveled to the company's office with knives, but ended up getting arrested there. Back to Genshin. During the game's one-year anniversary event, Hoyoverse gave out rewards that many felt were lackluster, so they spammed the official Discord server with complaints, but these got shut down by mods. So then they spammed stickers of Chi-Chi, one of the characters, as a symbol of protest, but then the server was set to slow mode, so the community's next move was to review bomb it on Google Play. That night, the score for Genshin Impact dropped from 4.5 to 2.0, until Google caught on and purged the illegitimate reviews. So Genshin fans started review bombing other Hoyoverse games, but they still had yet to get what they wanted. So they then took to review bombing every single app on the Google Play Store they could find, even ones that had zero correlation with Genshin Impact. The Google Play mods could not control the situation anymore, so Hoyoverse had no choice but to cave in. And so every player was given 1600 Primo Gems and a free wind glider as an apology. Moral of the story, bullying works.
Building bricks with Minecraft is the best thing and the most amount of fun you can have while playing an app.
Minecraft needs no introduction. It's the best-selling game of all time, available on any device you could ask for. It's a game everybody plays, for 2 weeks until you get bored. It was even responsible for world peace for a little bit, when everybody came together to shout chicken jockey at their local theater.
Chicken jockey!
And it would not have gotten here without YouTube. No game gets more views than Minecraft. You should know this, you use the damn site. It has turned regular people into multi-millionaires, which on paper sounds like a dream come true. No pun intended. You get to make more in a year than most do in their lifetime just by playing a video game. But then a certain server proved that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. During lockdown, the Dream SMP grew to massive heights, and every single creator in that circle was subject to creepy obsessions. You had people creating entire dream genders, stealing water bottles from creators, someone pulled the fire alarm in their school because their favorite YouTuber uploaded, one vandalized a memorial, at one point they got into a war with Ted Bundy stans. Dream stans had a habit of canceling people for the most minuscule shit imaginable, especially J-Schlatt, since he was the most unfiltered. Like, look at these screenshots from Ranboo and tell me if it's offensive towards lesbians. Enough people thought so that he had to apologize for it. This is where every stereotype of a pre-Elon Musk Twitter user comes from. And because Dream was faceless for such a long time, you had people digging up all his personal info just to find out what he looked like. This one found his phone number and texted him daily smile emojis for months. And when he did face reveal, he didn't exactly meet everyone's insanely high expectations. As such, the top trend on Twitter that day was, "He's ugly." Then some allegations about some members came out, and since then everyone's just kinda moved on from this era. Yeah, it's no secret that Minecraft YouTubers aren't always good people. I mean, for God's sake, Nissan Leaf was one. So it's only natural that in a space where big names have committed crimes against humanity, the creator to face the most death threats and harassment is Jellybean, whose worst crime is making cringy shorts.
Okay, that's not Dream. That is Drum. Oh my god, I didn't know Dream face revealed already. Why is he kinda... Oh my god, that is the...
Priorities. Alright, enough about the YouTubers. What about the players themselves? One of them got so angry about being banned from a server that he emailed bomb threats to over 400 schools pretending to be the admin. There's that. Oh, and they should make a government relief program for anyone who was online during the Minecraft good Fortnite bad era. My god, was that hell. Thankfully, it seems like the two are negotiating a peace treaty, since there's rumors of an official collab coming.
You're effing trolls who have nothing else better to do!
Homestuck was a webcomic created by Andrew Hussey in 2009. It incorporated flash animations, music, and full-on games into its narrative, which was unheard of at the time. Through its forums, readers could also submit ideas for the story or name characters, which made the fandom grow exponentially. However, because it got so popular, Andrew Hussey couldn't keep up with the demand, so he'd have to remove this feature. Before he knew it, this thing became a phenomenon. One animation was so hyped that when it dropped, it crashed 3 different websites. An estimated 1.2 million people were trying to watch it concurrently, which is a number not even the biggest streams ever have been able to reach. These simple MS Paint doodles had evolved into an 8,000-page saga, with a story so complex that it makes COD Zombies look like a mini board book. The simplest explanation is that it's about 4 teenagers named John, Dave, Rose, and Jade who play a video game that destroys their reality, then creates a new one where they're the rulers. With it came a lot of cosplays, which is to be expected for any popular thing, but Homestuck cosplayers tended to take things way too far. You see, the most recognizable characters were these trolls who had gray skin, so to dress up as them you needed gray body paint. If applied poorly, you'd get body paint on whatever you touched, so a lot of conventions had to regulate it to avoid property damage. One fan said fuck that and decided to bathe in Sharpie ink and isopropyl alcohol in order to get the look. What they instead got was skin poisoning and eviction from the hotel room. Another super glued horns to his head and had to use nail polish remover to get them off. Ouch. This troll species reproduces by spitting into a bucket and feeding it to the mother. In one infamous video, you could see fans reenacting this practice in a restaurant. I blurred it for your viewing pleasure cause it's gross. Also, since this is how they breed, does that mean this counts as pool? This comic has a few really deplorable characters, most notably Vriska Cirquette, Cronus Sampora, and Bro Strider. I already hate them because of their names, but it goes deeper. They end up doing some pretty heinous things. Some people are chronically online enough to believe that if you cosplay as said characters, you condone their actions. There's been dozens of reports of cosplayers being harassed just because they dress up as these characters. However, there was a time where a Homestuck cosplayer actually subscribed to their character's ideas. Captain Boncho was well known for dressing up as the character Eridan Ampora. Eridan, despite only being 13 years old, has a massive genocide complex due to his high status, and wants to kill everyone who isn't the same race as him. Basically your average Instagram Reels user. He pumped out numerous skits LARPing as the character, and even had his dad included in one of them. But then in the early 2020s, his roommates announced that they kicked him out because he was holding neo-Nazi beliefs, and that he was now living in his car. The community had a field day with this revelation. Nobody knows his current whereabouts though.
Horace is he, who lives in a pineapple under the sea.
League of Legends, or LOL, LMAO even, is a multiplayer online battle arena game, or MOBA for short. Two teams level up their characters, known in the game as champions, to gain new abilities and defeat their opposing team's nexus. It is the esports game, with some events rivaling mainstream sports in terms of viewership. Sounds nice and dandy, right? Wrong. Players of the game, when they aren't sharing pictures of themselves in their respective mains dick pics subreddit, have long been criticized for being some of the rudest people you'll ever encounter. It's rare to see someone take accountability if their team starts losing. They'll always blame somebody else. Not just with a simple, he did it, but with expertly written uses of slurs that push their language to its limits. And League of Legends games are long, so you're stuck with these people for a good hour. But this didn't stop Chen Rong, a Chinese player, from playing the game for 23 hours straight without breaks, until he unfortunately died as a result of this intense session. Maybe an ADHD TikTok brain is a good thing. And that's not the only time League costed a life. One 16-year-old stabbed his roommate after losing 3 games in a row. Not to mention Faker, one of the most well-known players, has received so many credible death threats from angry teammates that he needs security anytime he goes out in public. Developer Riot Games has gone on record to say that it's only a tiny fraction of players that are toxic, but it's a very vocal minority. Not to mention they've been accused of fostering an unpleasant work environment. Now, to their credit, Riot has tried to stop the toxicity by giving you medals if you don't crash out, as well as having report features and in-game monitoring algorithms. But that doesn't stop toxicity from seeping into matches every now and then. Riot does also have Valorant if you'd rather be love-bombed.
For every kill you get, I'll give you an ooh.
Alright, bet.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
Aw, you're adorable.
Actually, now that I think about it, all multiplayer games are toxic in some way. Give me a single-player game. That's That's what I'm talking about. You could play through this entire game without talking to a single real-life human. Undertale was created by Toby Fox and released back in 2015. You play as a kid who falls underground and must find his way out while surviving the onslaught of monsters in your way. The game has since attracted a die-hard cult following and has inspired fan games and cosplay aplenty. No exaggeration, this game is worshipped. MatPat gave a copy to the Pope himself.
As my gift to the Pope, I gave him a copy of Undertale. Because regardless of how you feel about this game, Undertale represents an evolution for gamers and what they expect from the games that they play, making it the single best representative of where we are as a community today.
And then they played Megalovania for him at a concert. Apart from that, however, the Undertale fanbase has a bad reputation for gatekeeping the correct way to play. The game has 3 different routes that each give you unique endings. Pacifist, where you spare every enemy, Genocide, where you kill every enemy, and Neutral, where you spare some and kill others. If you stream or do a let's play of it, fans are gonna critique every single little detail of how you play, especially if you go Genocide. God forbid you kill these 1s and 0s. It got to a point where Markiplier refused to finish the game when he did a playthrough, since the overwhelming demands made it not fun to play. But at the end of the day, it's just online posts. Surely none of them would take it to the real world, right? Well, during a convention, a fan artist named Avamedes was approached by a follower of hers. She was given a batch of homemade cookies, which at first seemed like a wholesome gesture, but once she took a bite, her tongue was pierced by a needle that was baked into one of the cookies. Turns out that person was so upset with Avamedes drawing Frisk and Sans together that they tried to kill her. This anger stems from the fact that Frisk is a Skibbity toilet watcher and Sans is a Charlie Chaplin watcher, so the two shouldn't be together, if you know what I mean. YouTube is such a fun job. I've actually never played Undertale before, so from Monday the 16th to Wednesday the 18th, I'm gonna stream my first ever playthrough on my Twitch, Fundy Eagle. Which route am I gonna take? Who knows? Stay tuned.